Hey all. Um, so I was just thinking about a uh, phenomenon. I can't remember what the name is. I'll have to Google it. But there's this phenomena where a movie will say something, say one line, just one line will be dedicated to saying that uh, a product is good or a product is bad, and eventually the sales for that company like boom or they fall or something like that. Like for instance, one that I know of is with I think it was Wallace and Gromit. They ended up choosing a cheese company that Wallace and Gromit bought from called Wensleydale because they thought it was the most fun, the most fun thing to animate. And but they didn't know that Wensleydale was actually going bankrupt. And when they did that one line, when they said that they bought from Wensleydale, that was enough to get the company out of bankruptcy. And so that's a really crazy phenomenon because it's like you don't think much of that. You don't look at like Gromit saying Wensleydale or some wine connoisseur in a wine movie talking about how this one brand is awesome and think, oh, this is going to get a company out of bankruptcy. You usually think like, oh, Wensleydale, okay. But I think that actually does make a lot of sense when you consider the sort of impact that, you know, a show or a movie will have on a person, despite the fact that if you actually look at it, like, if you want to look at it mathematically, it only really is there for, like, really, like, a tenth of your day or less. Like, you can watch one episode of, let's say, Breaking Bad, and you're going to remember details from that. You're going to remember aspects of it for, like, years, maybe. Like, somebody will say something, it'll be like, actually, that reminds me of season 2, episode 3 of Breaking Bad, whenever they broke bad or whatever they do in that show. Like, art leaves a impact on us despite the fact that it doesn't really last for that long when we experience it. Um, so I think it does kind of make sense that a movie would have that sort of impact, especially when you think about it like, there are 24 hours in a day, and you might go to the movies like once a month at most. So, there's like 720 hours out of a month, and one of them, you decide to go to the movie, and one of those nights you decide to go to the movies, and it might be like an hour and 30 minutes, it might be 2 hours, it might be 3 hours. But nonetheless, that is small, that is minute. And yet, unless the movie's really bad, you're going to be able to say, like, oh, yeah, I remember I watched Oppenheimer. I remember whenever they dropped the bomb and he said, now I am become Sneed. I remember that. Like, to begin with, like, I think that just, it does kind of make sense, that kind of phenomena that, even though we don't really experience art for that long in the grand scheme of things, it does leave an impact on us. It's kind of a thought I had. All right. See y'all.